moving from the ankle. Okay? You should feel this kind of burn all along your shin. And if you don't, maybe just keep doing it and see if that changes things. But the goal is to be slow and controlled. We don't want to just fling it, okay? I can get that to move by flexing my hip and essentially catching there. That's where the hands and foot come in handy. We just want that ankle moving. Hi. Today we're going to be going over an exercise for your anterior tib muscle. The anterior tib muscle is this muscle that runs along the outside of your shin, and you can feel it. If you find the kind of the crest or the most like bony, pokey part of your shin that kind of goes down, it's going to be this soft channel that runs right here. It's going to go up from right about here, where you get that bony bump on the bottom outside of your knee, all the way down on the top of your foot. This muscle, although not really seemingly that important, is actually super important. If you're somebody who gets a lot of lateral ankle sprains or inversion sprains, this muscle is pretty much your last resort to prevent that from happening. This is also going to be super important when squatting and doing lower body movements because it is a very important muscle to create stiffness and stability at the ankle so that your foot creates a solid connection to the ground and you have proper lever arms to help balance and counteract sway as you descend and ascend through the movement. Fancy way of saying a strong anterior tib makes a better squat. So how do we train this muscle? Pretty easy. It's essentially the opposite of a calf raise. You're just going to point your toes away and bring your toes back up. Point your toes away, bring your toes back up. Okay, so I'll take off my socks so you can see this a little bit better. Always rocking toe spacing underneath the socks. Because why not? Why would I not want to get the best benefit I can out of every moment of my day? Correct toes, barefoot.store. Check it out. So, how do you do this exercise anyways? Pretty easy. I put a dumbbell here. If you have something to wrap a band around, that works great. If you don't, a heavy dumbbell or really a heavy anything would work. So I'm going to create a loop, stick the end of the band through the loop, and tighten. From here I'm going to scooch back so I have tension on the band, or move the dumbbell back. Now this is a pretty heavy band. Some people may want to start with one of those thin yellow ones, or even the red one. This is really the kind that a lot of bands are normally black. This one's gray because someone decided to get fancy, but no, this is essentially like the third from the bottom of the band strength. So from here, I want this thing to kind of pull my foot back. I want this anterior tib muscle to be on a stretch or under tension at the bottom. From here, my heel is going to be my fulcrum, and I'm just going to think about pulling my toes up, and then when I get here, I'm even going to kind of swing to the outside. Okay? So I control down, pull up, swing out, control down. Control up, swing out, control down. Just like that. You can then go to the other foot. Same thing. Create your tension. If you're finding it really hard to just contract that, use your hands and your other leg to help stabilize the knee. So stick your foot underneath this knee, hands to the outside of the knee, and that way you can focus on just moving from the ankle. Okay? You should feel this kind of burn all along your shin, and if you don't, maybe just keep doing it and see if that changes things. But the goal is to be slow and controlled. We don't want to just fling it, okay? I can get that to move by flexing my hip and essentially catching there. That's where the hands and foot come in handy. We just want that ankle moving. Some of you, depending on how much dorsiflexion you have or how much ankle range of motion, this may be a pretty small movement, okay? That's okay. Work with where you're at, visualize where you're trying to go, and try to connect those two, okay? Connect where you want to be in your head to where you are now, and let your nervous system and brain do the wiring to make that happen. And your job is to put in the consistent work and effort to help it out along the way. If you have any questions, let us know. But if not, enjoy and strengthen those shins.